Imagine yourself walking through the woods of Tennessee, just out enjoying nature on a nice hiking trail. As the sun sinks lower on the horizon, twilight begins to settle in, but being on your way back, you know you have plenty of time before true dark. Off to the side of the trail, you see something glinting in the dying light of the sun. Curiosity getting the better of you, you decide to check it out. Getting closer, you find a small, apparently handmade knife laying on the ground. A rock blade and a carved, maybe bone, handle with some kind of glistening stone attached to the handle. You realize the rock must have caused the glinting you saw. Wondering who could have lost it, you decide to pick it up and carry it back to a lost and found. As you turn around, a small rock the size of a golf ball smacks the ground in front of you. You turn in time to see another rock hit the tree you were standing beside. Looking behind you, you don't notice anything at first, but upon hearing a grunt, you follow the source to something standing not far from the place where you had found the crude knife. Holding a small spear and standing about 2 feet tall, what you think is a child stands looking at you with its hand held out. When you notice the wrinkles on the being's pale face and the overly large, strange pale eyes, you realize this isn't a child at all. Tossing the knife, you run as fast as you can back and down the trail, the light slowly getting dimmer. Behind you, more than one voice coming from the spot you left, fading with the distance you gain. You've just seen the Yunwi, otherwise known as the Moon-Eyed People. Welcome to Labeled Unknown. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below. There are many tales of these small pale beings that the Cherokee called Yunwi, or Little People. Seemingly nocturnal, they would only mainly come out at night because the sunlight was too harsh for their eyes. The Cherokee claim they were settled in the land before them. A stone wall in Georgia is said to be proof to some of the Little People. Maybe they built a small wall in hopes of protecting themselves from the Cherokee. The Cherokee would have tales of hearing them at night outside their huts picking corn or wrestling around, but they wouldn't watch them. You weren't supposed to watch the Yunwi. If you came across an object in the woods that may belong to them, you were supposed to say, "Little people, I want this," or "Little people, I want to take this." If you didn't ask for permission, they would throw stones at you as you walked away. Stone throwing is a very common thing in the woods of Appalachia, often associated with Bigfoot, but most of the time no creature is seen, so could it be possible that some of the reports may actually be caused by the Moon-Eyed People? In 1828, an article in the Cherokee Phoenix read, quote, "In White County, state of Tennessee, near the town of Sparta, there have been discovered 3 burial grounds where a very small people are deposited in tombs of stone. The greatest length of the skeletons is 19 inches. Some of these people appear to have lived to a great age, their teeth being worn smooth and short, while others are full and long. Many of the tombs have been opened and the skeletons examined. The graves are about 2 feet deep. The coffins are of stone, made by laying a flat stone at the bottom, one at each side, one on each end, and one over the corpse. The dead are all buried with their heads to the east and in order, laid on their backs and their hands on their breasts. In the bend of the left arm is found a cruse or mug that would hold nearly a pint, made of ground stone or shell of gray color, in which is found 1, 2, or 3 shells supposed to be seashells. One of these skeletons had about the neck 94 pearl beads. There are many of these burial grounds. Near the one which I examined is the appearance of an ancient town. The bones found in these graves are strong and well set. The whole frame appears to be well formed. These graveyards are in extent from half an acre to an acre and a half. In the same neighborhood is a burial ground where the dead are buried in the same manner as above described and where the skeletons are from 7 to 9 feet long. But what about some oral traditions or some modern-day accounts?
The Little People, and I'll try the Cherokee pronunciation of Yunwi, were originally called Moon People because they only came out at night. They were said to predate the arrival of the Cherokee in the Southeast by many, many years. However, it would appear over a number of years that a respectful relationship of peaceful coexistence has been established. They hold a significant place in tribal oral history. It's said that especially gifted or selected young Cherokee, as they were growing up, were encouraged by their parents and the elders to go out alone and talk with the young Wiyusti. Thomas E. Males was a fine artist and researcher. He authored and illustrated the Cherokee people. He writes that the young Wiyusti preferred to make their homes in rock caves on the sides of mountains. They were a handsome and well-shaped race, hardly reaching up to a man's knee. Estimates of heights go from knee-high all the way up to 18 inches to over 3 feet. They had long black hair that almost fell to the ground.
This is where he breaks down 3 different types. The trickster, which can be seen all across the world in history. Look at elves and gnomes.
The Laurel people are said to spend almost half their time drumming and dancing. Although they're a fun-loving group, they're pranksters at heart and especially enjoy playing harmless tricks on humans.
The helpful Dogwood people, which seem more of a good spirit, more angelic.
The Dogwood people are the kind and helpful ones. It's said whenever someone becomes lost in the mountains, especially a child who's wandered away from their parents, the Dogwood clan will find them, take care of them, and the next day return them home safely. They've also been known to harvest corn or other crops overnight when the human is ill or just hit by a sudden adversity. Sometimes the drum of the little people is heard in lonely places in the mountains, but it's not safe or wise to search for it.
And the rock dwellers, or cave dwellers. They seem more ill-tempered, as he says, but there are accounts of even them helping humans out.
The rock people are considered to be the mean-spirited ones. They do not like to be disturbed at home and are known for casting spells on strangers. The spell so bewilders the stranger that he becomes disoriented and can't find his way. Even if he were to get back home, he's forever like a person dazed or in a trance. When the hunter finds a useful object in the woods, such as a knife or grinding stone, he is to say, "Young Wiyusti, I want to take this," because it might belong to the rock people. And if he did take it and did not have permission, they would throw stones at him. During the smallpox outbreak among the eastern band of Cherokees just after the Civil War, a sick man wandered off into the woods. His friends searched but could not find him. After several weeks, he returned on his own. Said the little people had found him and taken care of him in one of their caves, and they tended him until he was cured.
What about evidence?
In about 1895, 2 hunters went behind the high falls near the headwaters of the Oconaluftee River within the Qualla boundary. They found a cave with fresh footprints of the Wiyusti all over the floor. About 30 miles from that site, about 40 years later, New Deal construction had begun on Western Carolina University. The late Walter Middleton was one of those who was involved in that project. Years later, he talked with Mary Joyce, a journalist, about the mysteries uncovered by the crews there. Joyce recalls his interview in her book, Cherokee Little People Were Real. Joyce says that he began by telling her about the Cherokee Little People just to build up her curiosity. She insists that after talking with him, that there is concrete evidence that the Little People actually exist in the region.
Now, they found skeletons. One of the stories that I found extremely interesting was they found a little skull. It was a child-sized skull. And one of the science professors just kept it on his desk, almost like a decorative paperweight. And he just said it was, a child's skull from the mound. One day, the teacher came in and looked at it real closely and said, "This isn't a child's skull. It has all its wisdom teeth." So if you've been through that, you have to be 18, 19, 20 to start to get wisdom teeth. And the little skull has the wisdom teeth.
Joyce was intrigued by the fact that Middleton and a few other men who actually worked on that construction site found little tunnels. According to her, the tunnels were carved out of red clay and were arched at the top, but were just a few feet high, much smaller than the average-sized man could fit through. Depending upon with whom you speak, it appears the skull and bones and other evidence reside in a secret vault on campus, or were sent away to the Smithsonian.
Once again, when it comes to strange archaeological records and evidence, the Smithsonian's name comes up. I find that very interesting. I don't know if anybody else does. But thanks for joining me today. I hope you liked the video. And if you did, once again, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. And feel free to answer the question of the day. Question of the day. Somebody came running up to you out of the woods, claiming they seen a moon-eyed person. Would you follow them back?